You won't believe the news we just received. Get ready for a bombshell revelation that could change the fate of the Lakers. Redick is on the verge of signing with the team. Is he the missing piece for next season? Stay tuned to find out all the details. And let's move on to today's news, but first, just check if you're already subscribed to the channel, because the next videos will be a series of content that will help you stay informed about everything related to the Lakers. There seems to be a lot going on about who the new Lakers coach will be. Everyone is talking about Redick. I think a lot of us are rooting for him to be the one. First, they fired Dan Hurley, but it looks like he's fine with that. Now it looks like Redick did an interview where he thought a lot about the pros and cons. I don't know much more than that. I just know that I'm hoping they make him an offer soon. But I could be wrong. It's just my thoughts. I'm just a fan, not an expert or reporter. So, just to be clear, they just had another conversation with Redick. They want to finish this soon, evaluating Dan Hurley and agreeing on the right value. I think JJ might not get everything he wants, but the Lakers could say, hey, we were going to offer this to Dan Hurley, so let's give JJ a long-term contract. I can see this happening. I think he will get a long contract because the Lakers are confident. They're going to think, hey, JJ's the right guy for us. Let's take a chance on him and not have to touch this again in 2 or 3 years. I think the Lakers will probably offer him a 4 to 6 year contract again. I may be wrong, but that's what they did with the previous coach, Darvin. I hope they do the same with Redick. I think they've already made him an offer, but I don't think he's signed yet. If he's signed, they won't announce it until after the NBA Finals, as it says on ESPN. That could be next Monday, but I'm not sure. They've already had several conversations with him, from what I hear. It seems like the Lakers really needed help, because they wouldn't be looking so hard if they already had a permanent coach. You're not going to go around buying help when you don't even have a problem to solve, right? It's like you're trying to buy a wedding dress without even having a boyfriend. It doesn't make sense, right? It appears that the Lakers already have someone in mind for the position and are looking for help for that. I think they've already sorted everything out and are shuffling their cards. I guess we're going to have to wait until after the NBA Finals whenever they end, on Monday or Game 6 or 7. It won't be something that happens immediately. It could take up to a few days. A lot of people think that right after the NBA Finals are over, they will announce JJ as coach. I'm almost sure of that. I think it will take a day or two for everything to settle down properly. Let's have the NBA Finals first, and it looks like the Celtics have a good chance of winning that Monday. After that, I think they'll wait a little longer, let everyone talk about it in the media. And then maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, they will officially announce that Redick is the new head coach of the Lakers and that everything is already set. It looks like he will return to the team. If they sign, they'll be ready to start again. This is just my opinion, but check out Dan W. and Mark Stein's reports. Both say Redick will be the new head coach. Mark Stein even spoke to people who said they already know who the coach will be, pointing to Redick. If these reports are right, and Redick is indeed going to coach the Lakers for sure, it makes sense that they have already worked everything out behind the scenes. It seems like they've already gone through the entire process and are just waiting for the right moment. Let's be patient and see how this plays out. I think JJ will end up being the new head coach, but I could be wrong. The media is always right, isn't it? Look, even though I never really believed Dan Hurley would be the head coach, I've said it before. But do you know what I think? I believe Dan Hurley was just a smokescreen to distract JJ while he was busy at the NBA Finals. Why would they fire Hurley in the first game of the playoffs if they were supposedly negotiating with him for a month? The reports simply don't add up. It doesn't make any sense. It seems like they were just trying to mislead the real deal with all of this. Then, they said they only found out a week before offering the contract that he was still negotiating with other teams. The reports were all over the place, but none of them added up. Even the W reports didn't make sense. That's why I kept thinking something wasn't right. It looks like Dan Hurley was using the Lakers to get away with it. I know he tried to deny it, but if you listen to his interview, everything indicates that he used the Lakers to his advantage. So he goes there and says, oh, I'm not trying to take advantage of them, I don't need them for that, but he clearly did. I think the Lakers knew this too and used Hurley as a distraction and scapegoat. It might be a mistake to hire JJ after all this. This theory makes a lot more sense because if you think about it, all the talk has been about Redick. He's getting ready for the NBA Finals and everyone is talking about him and the Lakers, not the Finals games themselves. So look, JJ stayed out of the spotlight for a bit while it was all about Dan Hurley. 3 games spent focusing solely on Dan Hurley, but now he's gone from the scene and we're back to talking about Redick. All the reports are back talking about him again, and the conversation has totally changed. But hey, it looks like the finals are over, and I think Dan Hurley is being used as a scapegoat by the Lakers. They tried to go with Dan Hurley, made a fair offer and everything. He would have been one of the highest paid coaches in the league despite having no NBA experience and all that talk, but sometimes things don't work out. Now it seems like they are using JJ as some kind of wild card to get out of this situation. Everyone will say, oh, you always knew it was JJ, right? They tried with Dan Hurley, but it didn't happen, so they ended up going back to JJ. Makes sense, right? That's it. Everything seems to fall into place for me. If you look at all the information, it seems like Dan Hurley was just an illusion, He was there, but it seems like that was it. I could be wrong, it's just an idea, a theory of mine, but I still think JJ Redick will be the new head coach. The reports always point in that direction, right? It's been like this since the beginning. I'm totally on JJ's side. I know a lot of people aren't sure about these coaches. It's always a gamble. So for me, it makes sense to choose the guy who seems to have the most advantages, right? The reason the Lakers are keeping an eye on JJ is because they think he is an innovative thinker. They like the fact that it's not tied to traditional methods, as I've mentioned before. What I like about JJ is that he does things his way. Sure, it would be great to have someone proven and experienced, but those guys are hard to find. I mean, there's Frank Vogel and others out there, but the reality is they're not available. The only realistic guy with any experience, even if it's not extensive, is James Bigo. But for me, James Bigo is a different case. His offensive methods worked well in Charlotte, and some of the things he likes to do worked there. Some of those things that worked with the Charlotte Hornets might not work with the Lakers, because they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It's very different to have a point guard like LaMelo Ball compared to having LeBron, who is already in his 40s. So again, for me, the problem with Dan Hurley was that he was kind of limited. As long as he managed to stay within what was expected, that was fine. There were moments when he did very well. I mean, in that playoff where we got to the conference finals, Dan Hurley seemed to be doing great as a coach against the Grizzlies, matching Steve Kerr of the Warriors. He was great because he never had to leave his comfort zone. But when we faced Denver, he had to deal with something different and was a little lost. He didn't know how to resolve the situation and started trying everything without a clear plan. We're almost done, but before I realize that you Lakers fans haven't left a like on this video yet, this is very important so that YouTube can continue to share our content with you, and so we'll be helping you stay informed about the Lakers. So now leave a like on this video. It's free. That's why I like JJ Redick, because he's not rigid in his ideas. This is why many big companies like to hire people without much experience, because people with a lot of experience tend to only follow one way of doing things, thinking it is the best way. They say things like, I've been doing this for 20 years, I know exactly how it works. That's where JJ is different. He's like that new guy, all excited, just out of college looking for a job. He is super excited, open to listening and learning. Hey, let's try different things, and I like that. For example, if you hire someone like James Bigo, he can adjust if things aren't going well. But JJ is different. He'll say, hey, this isn't working. Let's try something new here. No, it's not that. Let's go this way. It's not exactly going back to the beginning, but he's willing to try new approaches. I think he will navigate situations without stressing too much about the plays. He will be good at calling timeouts and organizing the team on the court. He is very good with game strategies. He knows everything about X and O. I think he will be a great head coach, but, there's a lot more to being a head coach than just drawing plays on the board and saying, come on, run this, or calling a timeout. There's a lot going on, like dealing with agents, players' personalities, the entire organization, and even the media. A lot can go wrong if everything isn't right. It's not just sitting there and putting together pieces. It's also directing filming and knowing how to demand from the players. It's a very demanding job, for sure. So if he has good support around him in the first 2 years, I think he'll do really well. If we can build the right team around him, JJ Redick can focus completely on basketball while someone else takes care of everything else, all the noise and bureaucracy. I think he'll do great having someone to help him with these things. We'll get him focused on basketball, coach him on the rest, and I think he'll be successful. Of course, you can start with new coaches like JJ. Everyone thinks we're not going to win a championship in the first year with a head coach. It's been a while since then, like Pat Riley, Paul Wested, and then more recently Nick Nurse, Tyronn Lue, and Steve Kerr. Then the other three guys in their first year as head coaches won a championship. This has happened 3 times in the last 10 years, which is quite recent as it had only happened twice before that. So I don't think it's impossible that someone like Dan Hurley could come in and we could win a championship right away. But, if you look at Dan Hurley's track record, it usually takes him a few years to get it right. Every team he's worked on has needed time to adjust because he likes to do things the right way, sculpting and molding the team. So whichever coach we choose is going to be a big decision if we want to win a championship. It's a question of whether JJ is the right guy or not. Let's see how it all unfolds. As always, I want to hear his opinion. What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Are you cool with JJ? Or do you think it won't happen and they will hire someone else? It may be so until it is official, many twists and turns happen, but at the end of the day, I think JJ will be the head coach. What do you think? I love hearing your opinion. Thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the next content. Access now our playlist that will appear on the screen or in the pinned comment with all the latest news and news from the Lakers. And stay tuned behind the scenes, highlights, last-minute controversies, transfers, everything about the Los Angeles Lakers team. Until the next video.